But I also want to address the other part of this. It's like I'm not against immigration. I'm totally for immigration. However, I'm against open borders. You can't just let people pour into our country without checking them out, without them having some kind of waiting period to see who they are, to see, why they're coming here and if they're qualified to come here. That's what the law is supposed to be. And it hasn't been happening. And it's been a disaster throughout this country. And this just sort of underlines it. And of course, people could point out and say, see, an illegal killed this guy. Well, right. But and as some news reporters will point out, is that, citizens, of course, commit more crimes than illegals because there's way more citizens than illegals. However, if the person didn't get in or was deported when they committed the crime, this wouldn't have happened. And that happens to be a fact.
Bill, we are a nation of immigrants. We've always have been a nation of immigrants, even before we were really a nation. I owe the immigration laws to my grandparents coming over here, and probably with your family too, and many, many families that are listening to this podcast, and many people in America. We can trace our lineage back to different continents, but to not carry, it's not like we don't have the laws on the books, and we need to create them, and we need to create the agencies that are going to police our borders. No, we've had laws in the books for 200 years. We've changed them. We've redefined them. We've added police of all levels, and we've worked well with federal agencies. I remember in the Bronx in the 4-6 when I was a rookie cop, calling up Immigration Naturalization Service anytime I arrested someone who I suspected was an illegal immigrant. I'd give them my name, the perp's name, his date of birth, and his arrest number in the Bronx, and tell them, okay, if you want, if he is illegal, you can pick him up. Be our guest. That was something that you did every single time you brought a perp to central booking, and you thought they were they thought they were illegal. We've shot ourselves in the foot, and it's our own fault. And it's really sad that this is what it has come down to. If he had been detained at El Paso and turned around and told to get and stay in Mexico while you await your request, he wouldn't have gotten in. If he had been arrested in New York and then they notified Immigration Naturalization Service, ICE, they could have come and deported him back to Venezuela. It's interesting that Venezuela, I think, isn't even going to take any more of the illegal immigrants back. And that's frightening because
well, Mike, that's because they're not giving us their best. They're giving us
the worst. Yeah, we're not getting their PhDs. Yeah,
we're not getting.
It's our own fault. It's our nation's. It's our own fault. Not as voters, but as taxpayers, we're getting shafted. That's just the basic bottom line.
It's just incredible, and it's a horror show. I'll just tell a quick story. A month before I came on the police department, I was held up at gunpoint, my brother and I, and there's a whole long story to it, but we wound up being forced into an apartment, and when the guy was going to start tying us up, we jumped him, and he fired 4 shots at us, and my brother got hit in the stomach. We disarmed him and held him for the police. Lo and behold, he was an illegal here from the Dominican Republic. He was on parole for murder. He was a bad guy. This was 1984. And so he wound up getting sentenced to a very long prison sentence, but they kept trying to parole him. And I kept writing letters to the parole board, imploring them not to let him out. And I kept him in jail for, I think, 22 years with my letters.
Good.
And when the 22nd year came up, I wrote to ICE and I said, listen, this guy's an illegal. And ICE was waiting outside of Sing Sing. And as soon as he walked out, they put handcuffs on him and they deported him back to his country of origin. So you may have said I was vindictive, but something, I got shot at. This guy meant to kill me. And that's when the law used to work. They deported him. He's never been back in this country again. And that's the way the system is supposed to work. And however, it does not work because no one's following the law. We're a country of laws that doesn't follow the law. And that's where the rubber hits the road. And that's where it's a little bit, it's ugly. It's ugly out there, and it's